I'm back inside Viewmont State Forest. Forestry has been active cutting the plantation area, and we have made some progress in that they have now mapped our remnant areas onto their logging plans. But unfortunately, they have undertaken forestry activities inside those areas. We've managed to get permission to inspect areas that have yet to be logged, and we will be mapping the remnants. Here is one that they have avoided, and then down in the gully here are some original trees, but unfortunately not everything was spared. Such as that. So I'm in one of those remnant areas now, or on the edge. This is the kind of thing that happens. This is an original tree. This is a large old tallow wood. It's over 3 meters in the round. Next to it is grey gum, koala habitat, felled into the remnant area, but of course the excuse here is, oh well, we were just widening the road. This is a tree inside the area zone native forest. This was not part of the forestry operations last time round. This was cut recently. It's outside the plantation. It's unauthorised native forest logging on the edge of the remnant, purely for the log. So we're inside the first remnant. This area is 0.43 of a hectare. Here it is in the historical photography from the 1990s. You can see the uneven aged canopy. We're inside it, but unfortunately it has been completely fragmented by roadworks. So unfortunately the ecological value of this has been compromised, but once we get into what survives, there's some really nice habitat trees here. This is a grey gum. This is another grey gum. This is all original forest here. Another grey gum through here. Very nice. And here's a gorgeous tallow wood. And here's an example of a original tree, over 3 meters in the round. This is a coastal blackbutt. So we're inside a second remnant now. This is long, thin, goes around the edge. Here's a sort of blob at the end. Just taken a record of one large tree. Here's a second, over 4 meters. This is an ironbark. This is absolutely original, absolutely native, and this whole area is ironbark forest, not plantation. I'm inside the plantation clearfall area between state forest in here, which is green, which is so-called native forest, set aside area here, but this is the remnant that I previously identified spatially. Here it is on the historical aerial photography from the 90s, and you can see this canopy here of this tree. This is a really nice pink bloodwood, and I have an assistant with me today measuring an ironbark. tallow wood. This is fully intact forest, and in view of the fact that all of this out here has now been logged as native forest, is incredibly important in the landscape to be retained and not cut at all, please. So we're on the continuation of the second remnant we went to. We've come down through the third and fourth, and you can clearly see the original canopy, and sure enough, here it is. You can actually tell the existence of a remnant by looking at the canopy on the photography. So we're just finishing up for the day. You can see that large canopy inside the so-called plantation. We're now on the other side of the drainage, and we are in the so-called plantation. And it's important to understand also that individual trees exist within plantation areas. We're inside the clearfall area here. From the historical photography, you can see the greenery, and sure enough, a really large pink bloodwood with a circumference of well over 3 meters in a plantation. So my analysis of the areas that we visited today: this area is intersected with 3 roads and quite heavily disturbed, but contains a lot of native forest, some large trees. Due to its fragmentation, it should be retained. This area has some plantation trees in it, but it is predominantly natural, with some very large ironbarks and tallow woods and rainforest species along the drainage here, all the way along, and the remnant lines actually follow the forest. This area, I'm actually here right now in the shade, is fully intact, and this area here is fully intact. And if anything, with my mapping, I've been overly conservative. There's a large pink bloodwood outside the remnant area here, and there's another one of similar size over here, and there is some continuity of native vegetation all along through here. I haven't been here this time, but I've already been in here. This is intact. On the basis of what I've seen so far, my recommendation is that all these remnants be retained and left intact, and there be no extraction.